Welcome to the Mindfulness Within podcast, a space where healing isn't about fixing what's broken, but remembering what has always been whole. I'm your host, Gilbert Romero Mewharter. Today we're exploring something that every one of us encounters on the healing path. Often, right at the moment we're about to go deeper. Resistance. The part of us that says, not yet. This feels like too much. I don't trust this. I don't want to change. I'm tired of working on myself. In therapy rooms, and often our own internal worlds, resistance is frequently misunderstood. It can be labeled as avoidance, defensiveness, or lack of motivation. But through the lens of internal family systems, resistance is understood very differently. Resistance is not the enemy of healing. Resistance is a protector. And today, instead of trying to push past it, analyze it, or overcome it, we're going to slow down enough to listen. Because healing doesn't happen by force. It happens at the speed of trust. As you listen, notice if any part of you resists this conversation. And remember that that too is welcome here. And let's begin. Before we move into our mindful practices, I want to take some time to offer context, especially for those of you who are newer to internal family system, and also for those who work clinically with others. Because when we don't understand resistance, we tend to fight it. And in an IFS, whenever we're fighting a part of ourselves, something important is being missed. IFS understands the psyche as made up of parts, different aspects of us that are formed in response to the life experiences. These parts aren't pathological, they're adaptive. They took on roles to help us survive. When someone says, I feel stuck, keep hitting a wall. I know what I should do, but I just can't do it. Every time we get close to that topic, I shut down. What we're often hearing isn't lack of motivation. We're hearing the voice of a protector part. From an IFS perspective, resistance usually comes from manager parts. Protectors that work proactively to prevent pain from surfacing. These parts might avoid certain topics, intellectualize feelings, create distraction or busyness, shut down emotionally, become skeptical or doubtful, push for control or perfection, or insist on staying exactly the same. And while these strategies can be frustrating, they make sense when we understand what they're protecting. More resistance exists to protect exiled parts, younger parts of us that carry burdens of shame, fear, grief, terror, or even loneliness. At some point, feeling those emotions wasn't safe. There wasn't enough support, choice, or protection. So a protector stepped in and decided, I won't let that happen again. Resistance often says, if we go there, we're going to fall apart. If we feel this, we won't survive. If we change, we'll lose something important. If we trust this process, we might get hurt. And from the protector's perspective, those fears are real. Here's something important to know. Resistance often increases when healing is actually getting closer. When protectors sense the exiled material might surface, they tend to intensify their efforts. This can look like sudden doubt about therapy, wanting to quit or change direction, feeling numb or disconnected. This isn't failure. This is the protector saying, I'm not safe yet. If you want to know more, please like and subscribe, or you can come find me at onemindOneHeartCounseling.com. In IFS, we don't see resistance as defiance. We see it as a request for trust building. When we try to override resistance, either in ourselves or our clients, we often recreate the very conditions that cause trauma in the first place. Going too fast, not listening, ignoring consent internally, prioritizing outcomes over safety. Protector parts don't soften when they're ignored or challenged. They soften when they feel seen, respected, and no longer alone in their job. This is why IFS emphasizes asking permission from protectors, developing relationships with resistance, letting parts set the pace. Healing isn't about eliminating resistance. It's about helping protectors trust that self is here now. In IFS, self is not another part. Self is the calm, curious, compassionate presence that can hold all parts without being overwhelmed. Resistance doesn't trust insight. It doesn't trust techniques. It doesn't trust pressure. Resistance learns to trust self-energy. When resistance senses curiosity instead of judgment, compassion instead of urgency, patience instead of pressure, it begins to soften. Not because it was convinced, but because it was finally met. So with that understanding, let's move into our first practice. Not to get rid of resistance, but to begin a relationship with it. Find a comfortable position. Allow your body to be supported. If it feels safe, gently close your eyes. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. And now turn your attention inward and ask, is there a part of me that feels resistant right now? You don't need to search. Just notice what responds. Resistance might show up as tension, numbness, distraction, irritation, or the thought, I don't want to do this. Notice where the part lives in your body. Gently turn toward it and ask, what are you trying to protect me from? What feels too risky right now? How long have you been doing this job for me? You might say internally, thank you for trying to keep me safe. Notice what happens. Take a breath. And gently return to the room. If you'd like to learn more about IFS or want to engage in IFS counseling, please feel free to reach out to me at one-art counseling. Our second exercise is to discover what resistance is guarding. Bring awareness back to your body. Feel your feet. Feel your breath. Invite the resistant part back. Ask, what feels too much right now? Then gently ask, what happened the last time I went too fast? What did you learn that made resistance necessary? Place a hand on your heart or another grounding place. Let this part know, I am here now. You don't have to do this alone. Take a breath. And return. This third exercise is about holding resistance with self-energy. Notice your breath. See if there's even a small amount of curiosity towards your resistance, or compassion, or calm. Let resistance stay exactly as it is. Notice, who is the one noticing? That's presence. That is your self-energy. Let self be here. Take one more breath. And return. As we close today, notice what's present now. Maybe resistance feels clearer. Maybe it is softened. Maybe it didn't. All of it belongs. Today we explore resistance not as something to overcome, but as something to understand. From an IFS perspective, resistance is intelligent, it's purposeful, and it's often trying to protect parts of us that once carried too much alone. When we push resistance, we risk repeating old wounds. When we listen, resistance begins to trust. And trust is what allows healing to unfold. So perhaps your next step is this. When resistance shows up, instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Ask, what is this part trying to protect? Healing does not require force. It requires presence. It requires patience. It requires trust. Your resistance isn't blocking your healing. It's asking to be included. Thank you for being here. Until next time, take care of your protectors. Move at the speed of trust. And remember, you are not broken. Your resistance makes sense. And yourself knows the way. Thank you for joining us on the Mindfulness Within podcast. Remember, every breath is an invitation to pause, reflect, and reconnect with yourself. Take what resonated today, carry it with you, and return whenever you need a gentle reminder that peace is always within reach. Until next time, keep breathing, keep noticing, and keep growing. And as always, if you like what you heard today, like, subscribe, and share, or come find me at onemindOneHeartCounseling.com.